Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Cage Talk. Today, I have a mixed martial artist who is Unified Shoot Wrestling World Lightweight Championship, Ring of Fire Lightweight Tournament Champion, Legacy FC Featherweight Champion, was in the UFC, was in the WEC, was in Bare Knuckle, is actually fighting March 19th. He's starting that again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Leonard Bad Boy Garcia. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, buddy. How are you?
I'm just hanging in here, man. Just got back from vacation.
Yeah.
It was nice, trying to
Awesome, man.
get back.
That's a good thing to hear in this day and age.
Yeah, man. You need a little bit back. Just need a little normalcy back in your life, man. Just the same old, doing the same old thing, drives someone nuts. Well, in my case, it just drives me nuts. I need to kind of break out of the habit and just do other stuff. Because if not, it's rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah, it was strange for a little while, man. And like you said, everybody needs to get back to being normal again.
Yep. I think that's key. That's for mental state, man. Not to be I'm not saying brainwashed, but just kind of going down that rabbit hood, man. That rabbit hole I could go, oof. I don't watch the news for that reason, man.
Yeah. Ever since Trump left the presidency, man, I haven't paid too much attention to anything else that's going on, man.
Yeah,
I heard him on C-SPAN yesterday, so that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, let's dive into it, man. Again, big fan. Thank you for being on the show, man. It's watching you. It's always fun. Everyone knows what they're gonna get. They're gonna get a war, and they're gonna get their money's worth when we're watching you fight, man. Regardless if it's in the UFC, WEC, anywhere you go, you put on a show, and I think that's where your fan base, where everyone loves you, and you have that passion, man, and that you don't stop. That's the one thing. I was in Mexico today, and I was thinking about all the Mexican fighters and stuff. And it's nothing against Mexicans. It's kind of like a plus. It's like, you guys are one tough motherfuckers. Like, you guys don't go down without a fight. And is it just because you guys were born in that? Is it in your blood? What is it about Mexican culture, Mexican fighters that are just, you're tough son of a bitch? I mean, look, you have Diego Sanchez, yourself. I mean, I can go on a list of fighters who are Mexican, who are excellent athletes and fighters.
Yeah, I blame our diet. We eat tortillas, we eat beans, we eat rice. For me to have one ab, it takes a lot of work, man. I mean, and to have 6 of them, I got to get in there and get it, man. And that it's a joke, but our diet is terrible, man, for what we're trying to do. And I've always prided myself on looking fit. And I'm not genetically a really built guy. I got to get in there and I got to bust my butt and I got to do the work. And I think we're just hardworking people. We believe in what we do, and we stand by our word. I mean, I know already. I hate to break it down into races, especially in this day and age. But Mexicanos, man, we got a lot of pride.
Yep.
And pride could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. My last fight, I almost lost my eye because I had too much pride just to stop, to say, hey, man, I can't see. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it. The referee asked me like 3 times, can you see? And I said, yeah. And I went to him. I could see out of this eye. I just couldn't see out of the other one. So, and it's one of those things, man. I think just my work ethic and what I put in the gym. And when I get out there, man, like you said, they're always going to get something out of me. When I'm in the gym and I'm working, I'm sacrificing time away from my family. I'm sacrificing time away from everything to go in there and to put on a great show. Because I'm a blue collar guy. I never made millions of dollars. I never did anything. I'm a working man just like you. And I feel like if people are going to watch me go out there and perform, I got to give them something they want to see. And, I take pride in that. And it helps me get up if I get knocked down. It's like, you know what? There's people here to watch me. I can't let my family down. I've got to keep that. I got to keep myself proud, and I got to keep fighting. And, nothing against anybody else who has gone down and didn't get up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just couldn't dig deep and get it. I've always got a pretty good shovel, and I can always dig pretty deep, man. So, you guys can always expect that from me, especially if I look ready when I'm coming in. You guys know you're going to get a good show.
Yeah, man, definitely. Again, living in Texas for about 4.5 years now, I think I've embraced the Mexican culture, just the way, just the way people are raised. I'm Cuban.
Okay.
So like I come to Texas not knowing anything about Mexican culture. I just know a lot about Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Venezuelans, because that's all there was over there in Miami.
Right.
But I come over here in Texas, and it's like, yo, if you speak Spanish, automatically they think you're Mexican. You're like, oh, Mexicano. I'm like, no, I'm not Mexican, but I understand that though, because that's what's around here. But the culture itself, I have a buddy of mine. His parents are old school Mexican hard asses, and it's just the way they were raised and stuff. I could see that, just that mental. Again, he's a wrestler, got that mentality as a wrestler, and then his Mexican parents. I mean, it just shows like what kind of person he is, and his ethics and his boundaries, man. So again, cheers to you guys, man. You guys, I mean,
you guys as well, man. I love Puerto Ricans, Cubans, everything, man. I've never done that ancestry test, that blood work, but man, one day
we're all related.
See, I think I got a little bit of everything, man.
We're all related. Eventually, we're all related.
That's right. That's right. One race
exactly.
For sure.
But that's awesome, man. Let's again, we'll talk a little bit about your career and stuff. And I mean, off the top of my head, being in the UFC, the WC, fighting the Korean Zombie, Roger Huerta, like those fights, I remember, growing up watching. I'm like, man, these guys are just swinging and they don't give a shit. Like, fuck it. Like, whoever goes down, and that mentality, would you say your fighting style is like kind of like a brawler more?
Yeah, go for it. I always, this fight in particular, me and Joel Moore, I think, man, I got a lot of respect for the dude, man. We're cut from very similar cloth. He's a little more wound up than I am, which is a good thing. But he uses that energy and he gets in there and fights, man. One of the guys was like, you think he's on amphetamine or something? Because he gets wound up. And I said, no, man, that's just his natural high. Mm-hmm. When I'm in there fighting, man, I tell my wife, when the chaos is in there and I'm swinging and they're swinging and I see a punch and I get hit and I didn't hit him back, I feel alive. Like and then that's a bad thing to tell your wife. Like, I feel alive when I'm in there. I always feel like alive, but that's like my moment. That's my passion. It makes me, if I could bottle that feeling and put it in a bottle and drink it every now and again and just feel that exhilaration, I'd live a fantastic life. I don't know how many years I'd live, but it'd be a great life. But that's what I get when I'm in there. And people think we're crazy and they think we're nuts. But if they had that in what they were doing, I believe that they would understand a little more. And like you said, man, we're swinging, we're punching, we're trying to knock each other's heads off. It's just the best moments in life, man. It feels great. And that's what I search for every time, man. So it's like when I go out there, I'm looking for that feeling. I'm trying to find it. I'm not trying to reenact any other fight. I'm just trying to go in there and make that fight feel like that. So it's a lot of fun for me. And I'm getting up there in years now, and the feeling is still as strong as it was 20 years ago. So man, I don't know. The sky's the limit. I mean, Tom Brady's 45 and he's still winning Super Bowls. So,
it just, Tom Brady doesn't get hit as much, all right, man? Just remember that Tom Brady don't get hit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. He has a helmet. So
yeah, so
you're right.
But that's awesome, man. Again, that's your drive. That's what. As long as that flame is still burning, man, just keep doing what you love.
Yep.
regardless of what anyone thinks, age or anything, man. Fuck it. I mean, again, if you got that burn still in you, I would understand maybe like if you're still searching for it and you don't have that fire, but just you talking about it, man, you can tell you're getting amped up. I'm ready to go. It's March 19th, yeah. Now let's talk about let's talk about that, the bare knuckle. And I mean, I know we're kind of flip flopping and stuff like that, but fuck it. So talking about bare knuckle, how did you end up getting there? And again, what the way the contracts work, I'm trying to figure it out because I've talked to a couple of bare knuckle fighters. Had Joey Beltran on as well, and the way they talk about it, it's like almost like you can still leave the promotion, do something else, and then jump back on it. You're not really tied to a contract, or you are the certain fights. How does that work?
Well, so it's a great promotion. Dave Feldman, he's a fantastic promoter, man. He's one of the best guys to work with. So I'll tell you how it happened for me. I'd retired in 2015, and I started working for Automation X, a great company, a family-owned company. They got 13 locations all across the country. I started working for them, started doing really well. My family got involved, everything was good. And all of a sudden, man, this Dave Feldman gives me a call, 2018. And he says, hey, man, he sends me a link of the very first bare knuckle. It was Beltran and, ¿cómo se llama el otro?
The big, yeah, the
Tony,
big guy.
Tony, yeah.
Yeah.
So they threw down, man. They were scrapping, and they didn't have any gloves on. There was no wrestling and no kickboxing. And I'll take you back to the UFC. They would always make us pick our gloves, right? Like the size of glove that we wanted. And I would always tell them, man, give me an extra small. I don't care. You know, an extra small won't fit you. Well, give me a small. Small won't fit you. Okay, well, give me a medium. Why do you want such small gloves? And I was like, because I'm not going to wrap up under here. I'm just going to put that glove on and get down. And they're like, no, you got to wrap up your wrist and your knuckle, you know, everything else. And I was like, man, I don't even know why we wear gloves. Doesn't make sense to me. We shouldn't even wear gloves. And they're like, well, you know, it's just sanctioning. And I said, if a sport ever came out, we didn't have to wear gloves and we couldn't kick and we'd wrestle, you guys could sign me up. And I guess Dave had heard that. So he called me, man, and he asked me about it. And I told him, I said, yeah, I said that. He was like, well, I tell you what, I got a sport for you then. And, you know, I had been retired for 3 years, man, almost 4 years, and hadn't been, you know, I was training just to stay in shape, but just, I mean, kind of here and there, you know, good runs. Every now and again, I'd go spar, but I wasn't, like, in shape.
Active, yeah.
And he was like, man, I can let you fight at 65 if that's close to you. And I was like, well, shoot, I have to cut some weight to get to 65. He started laughing. He was like, yeah. And he gave me Julian Lane's name. And I was like, that's that Let Me Bang Bro guy, right? He was like, yeah. I said, man, let me talk to my wife. And he was like, well, hold on. Let me talk to you for a minute. And he got me to verbally agree.
Wow.
So I verbally agreed before I talked to my wife. And you know, I called my wife and tell her, hey, man, there's this sport. It's bare knuckle. I sent her the link. She watched it. She was like, she called me back right away. She said, what are you showing me this for? I said, they contacted me, and she said, nope, we ain't doing it. Like, I'm sorry. And I was like, man, listen, you know, this fight that they're contracting me at, we haven't had a vacation in a while. We've been working. And it's going to be in Cancun. And she was like, Cancun, Mexico? I said, yeah, like the beach, everything else. I mean, she was about to have our second baby.
Okay.
And she was like, well, Cancun? I was like, yeah, you go get a tan. They're going to fly us out there. It's going to be fun. I get to fight. She was like, well, you're not in shape. And I was like, yeah, but I can call Cowboy right now and I can go get in shape. She was like, when is the fight? I was like, 6 weeks from now. She was like, you're going to go fight in 6 weeks? And I was like, absolutely, man, let's do it. And she was like, well, and we negotiated. We went to church. We prayed about it. And we found peace. And we're like, let's do it. So this was a gift and a curse because I went down there and I busted my butt like a madman for 5 weeks, man. I trained as hard as I could.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to Cancun. I win the fight. And I tell myself, I can do this every time.
Mm-hmm.
I can chill until I'm 5 weeks out, and then I can train. And then comes Jim Allers, you know, a professional who's training all the time, who's always ready. And I thought, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to do my thing. 5 weeks from now, I'm going to go get ready. And I did, you know, and then I went out there and I got my butt whooped. And I realized a lot of things that night. You know, I realized that I can't fight with one eye. That's for sure. And but I also learned a lot about myself. You know, he popped my eyeball in the very first punch. Man, watch out, my dog almost got me.
Yeah. I thought it was a teddy bear for a second. Like,
yeah, that's his name, Bear. He came out and he did what a fighter does, man. He got me with a good shot and he finished the fight. Of course, you know, I tried to get up a few times and I just couldn't see anything coming, man. I couldn't see the punches. They were landing good. Like I said, I was never like out of the fight. I felt like, you know, the last one when my eye was all the way, looked like a big old ball.
Yeah.
And he punched it. And when the swelling pushed my eyeball again, man, it felt like my eye fell out. And I was like, dang it. So I reached for my eye and the referee was like, that's it. I can't let you go on. I was like, okay. So I went to the back and I talked to my wife and I was like, look, I've got one more on this contract and I set out to be the best guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take some time. Let's train and let's get ready. And then we'll negotiate after this fight. We'll see how we do. And then we'll negotiate. But give me an opportunity to actually do some training. And so I talked to Automation X. They agreed to allow me time to train, to continue to get ready and still work. And everybody worked with me. So the way I see it is this is an opportunity from God to prove, you know, I'm fighting the number one guy at 165. So it's an opportunity to prove that I am the best guy. And then after that, man, we'll see where we go.
All right, man. Again, that's probably got to be hard on your wife too, because that fight itself, again, he just kind of like bombarded you with punches, man. He just came out from the get-go and just fucking.
And he knew that good pressure was good. Now, you know, I learned a lot because with Julian, you know, I stepped back and I kind of assessed things and I was like nervous. With Jim, I thought I was invincible. You know, I thought, man, I did this last time. I'm going to come in here. This dude's going to hit me. It's going to bounce right off. I'm going to knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, he came on strong. And like I said, that very first shot sent me into a weird place. I had never squished my eye like that. Like it made a noise, like it squished. It made like a suction noise in my head. And I was like, oh, wow, what was that? And then boom, 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 I started getting punched. I said, oh, hell, I'm fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dang it, I got to figure this out. All I was thinking was hit him back, level playing field, you know, land a good shot, he'll back off. And he didn't, you know, he did a great job, man. He crowded me, got my head down. He was punching me, hit me in my eye a few more times. And everything I was trying to do, I didn't have an answer for that eyeball. Like I couldn't see out of that side. So every time he was hitting me on the left side,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, I mean, it wasn't no cheap shots because he was doing the right thing, but it felt like being cheap shotted because I couldn't see him.
You couldn't see him. Jeez.
And you know, and Jim, of course, you know, he's a seasoned athlete. He's a fantastic fighter, so he did what he had to do. And like I said, I learned a lot that day, and I learned now. I even spar sometimes. I'll cover the eye completely up with a patch, and just spar. Just to try to get myself used to if I ever get in that situation again, I'll be ready for it. And, you know, it's just a lot of different things happened since then. And I feel like I'm physically ready to go out and prove to everybody what I've been working on.
Definitely, man. It has now with that eye that's healed, has it healed properly? Are you still having some like trouble with it at all or
Absolutely
anything?
not, man.
No, okay,
No issues, no problems. My pupil was a little more dilated than
okay.
the other one after the shot, but we took a medical exam. It was just due to trauma in the eye, and it's still, it's still a little bit more dilated, but it reacts to light normal. I've taken several shots in it since then, and that was the thing. I had to test it, and it proved itself, and I'm ready to go, man. And I mean, maybe when I'm 60 or 70, I'll tell you a different story. Who knows?
No.
But when you choose, when you choose the sport as a way to make a living, you might have to deal with that in the future. And I understand that, and I know, and there's consequences to everything, and I'll accept my consequence from it.
Isn't that crazy how you're such a seasoned veteran in combat sports in general? Because I know you did boxing as well, but that you're still to this day. I don't know how many fights you already have under your belt with all the MMA, all the boxing and stuff, and you're still learning some new stuff as you go for each fight. Isn't that crazy that each fight there's something new to learn, another technique or another, like, again, the whole eye patch thing and fighting like that, and then using that and implementing that into your next, training camp, just because you never know. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, it's it's amazing, man, to be involved in something that's always evolving. I had a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I went and rolled probably 7 or 8 months ago. I went to a gym and I rolled, and I was getting spanked by purple belts, and I was like, what move is that? And it's so awesome to see, man, that it's always evolving, it's always changing. Even in bare knuckle, man, there's so many. It's so new right now that everything we're doing is evolving the sport. Yep. So I'm glad to be a part of something like that. Nobody wants to be part of something that's always the same. That you got to keep moving with time, man. And yep. I love it, man. It's amazing to be involved in it, and I really feel like you hit it right on the head, man. It's constantly changing. Yep. You always got to come with something new, and if you don't redefine yourself, then what are you doing?
Yep, exactly. You're just gonna end up. Someone's just gonna figure you out, and guess what?
Yep.
There goes the game. But
there it goes.
Man.
That's it.
But again, I'm excited for you. Can't wait for that fight. Really excited for you. Again, I think bare knuckle just fits you. Again, your style a lot better, just because you're almost like, I'd say, like, I think, who was I talking to? A buddy of mine, where I was saying, like, Chris Lieben, like, if that's, he started from the very first. Chris Lieben, you guys have that brawlers, that solid chin, just winging it. I mean, I think you guys are, like, meant for this almost. Like, bare knuckle is like a cakewalk for you guys, just because you're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. Love getting hit, or even dangerous. You guys are even more dangerous getting hit than not getting hit at all. So, like, the more you get hit, yes, you guys are just it's like another level, man. And that's, again, some people can take that punishment, like you said. Some people have a shovel that can dig deeper, and some don't. But you guys definitely have that, damn. And that's awesome. That itself is pretty cool, man. But again, like I said,
yeah, man.
So yeah, I'm getting hyped up just thinking about the fight now. So, but let's talk a little bit about how you got into fighting itself. I know you have a really interesting story of when you were little and stuff, and just what happened there. So if you can maybe enlighten the audience on what happened and everything like that, man.
So I grew up and thought I was going to be a professional football player. Like I really did. I thought football was my ticket in life, and I thought that I was going to be in the NFL, and I got a lot of a lot of good things in high school, and then I went to college, and everybody was 6'2", 220, 230. And they were just as athletic, if not better athletes than I was. And, that was a grain of salt, man, that it was hard to realize that there was people that were better.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was a competitor and I would give it my all. But, natural at the, genetics and people being bigger and stronger and faster and could jump higher and run faster. It was something I had to realize. And then when I realized it, I took a back seat, and I was still hanging out with some of the players. I ended up going out to a Taco Cabana late night, and
I know about
I'd
Taco
seen
Cabana.
a girl. Yeah, I seen a girl and decided I'm gonna stay back and talk to this girl for a little while. Stayed back, ordered some nachos, and as I'm going up there to grab my nachos, a guy comes in, and he looks real weird. He's like kind of spaced out, and he walks up to me, and he just reaches into my nachos, and he doesn't eat them. He just grabs them and smears them on himself, like beans and cheese and chips, and like just smears it on himself. Then he reaches in for the second handful, and I was like, well, drop my tray and started punching him. I didn't know what to do, so we started fighting. Well, he was on LSD, and he had like a really bad trip. Ended up going into the Taco Cabana, and he had a knife, and he stabbed me 9 times during the fight. Luckily, I had football background. I grabbed hold of him, I slammed him down, and my head broke his jaw when we hit the ground.
Okay.
It didn't knock him out. I was sitting on top of him trying to punch him, and all of a sudden my arm got locked up. And I was like, man, what the hell? And I looked back and I looked down, dude, and I'm covered in blood.
Oh, shit.
So then, I was like, what the hell's going on? Then I started breathing real weird, like, and he had punctured both my lungs. He had stabbed me real close to the aorta, the vessel in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have scratched that thing, even scratched it, I would have bled out.
Yep.
The ambulance got there. They saved my life. They take me to the hospital. They put chest tubes in me. They suck all the fluid out of my lungs. And, that it was just kind of a weird deal. Dude wakes up the next day. His jaw's wired shut. He's handcuffed to a bed. He has no idea what happened. Like, he doesn't know that he stabbed somebody, that he killed somebody. So it made the news, all these different things, and of course, everything I ever thought was, pretty much I was in a hospital bed, just kind of laying there trying to fight for my life. And I got better, I started healing up and started getting better. And one of the professors at Texas Tech reached out to me. His name was Clay Pittman. He was a jiu-jitsu professor. And he invited me over to go start training jiu-jitsu. He told me, I see you're a competitor. You were a great athlete. Maybe this is something. And he took me in there, and a little 14-year-old Brazilian kid whooped my butt. And I was 18. And, he wiped the floor with me, man. I was like, whatever he just did, I got to learn it. Mm-hmm. And I started taking jiu-jitsu, and then came to my hometown. Ended up going to watch some shoot fights. Okay. It was back when the UFC had just barely broke into the scene. I went to those fights. I was sitting in the audience. The promoter found out that I was there. He came out and he asked me, hey, man, would you be willing to fight? I'll pay you $500. I got a mouthpiece and some shorts. It's jiu-jitsu as well and striking. I was like, shoot, let's do it. And I got in there, man, and I won the fight in the first round. Choked the guy out, and then went on a run from there, man. That I loved it. I loved everything about it. I went there, and then I ended up going to Amarillo, Texas. I won a title there. They sent me up to Denver, Colorado. I won a title there. And then I took a little bit of time off, I thought about boxing for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then I came back to MMA. I beat a guy that the UFC was watching. And I went in there and smoked him in the first round. Then the UFC offered me a contract, and that was all she wrote, man.
Nice, man. Again, you're that's one hell of a story. And you don't have any like breathing problems or anything like that after like that?
So check this out. When I was born, I had a lung deficiency. I was born with like a whooping cough or some type of my lungs. I was premature, so my lungs weren't fully developed. And then I had some issues. So they did like, I guess, steroids in my lungs. Mm-hmm. And my lung tissue is a little bit thicker than normal, I guess, because of the treatments that I got and everything else. And when I was older and I got stabbed when I was 18, that actually kept my lungs from completely collapsing. So my
Wow.
sickness as a child helped me stay alive when I was older. God's got a
That's
crazy book,
crazy,
man.
huh?
Yeah. He wrote a good story when he wrote mine, and I feel like everything just lined up, man. So my lungs are fine. They're 110%. I can blow them out all the time, and I always do. I'm very, very, very fortunate for that, and I thank God for that every day. So anytime I can put them to the test, I do it, man.
Man, that just shows you that's a clear fact that everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
It
That's
might
right.
it might not look good in the beginning, but it's always you're always gonna cover something, and something else is gonna come out, man. That's
That's it,
amazing, bro.
man.
That's crazy. Shit.
Yeah, man. So just keep moving forward, man. I know I've seen people that have, some issues, and I'm like, man, that issue could save your life one day, man.
Yep.
Don't take it as that. And that's what we did with it. And we ran with it, and here we are, 41 years old,
There you go, man.
about to go in there and compete, and hopefully, go out there and go out with the bang, and continue this journey, man.
Yeah, of course, man. And we'll be everyone will be rooting for you, of course, man. You're a great human being. Like talking, that's one thing I love about the podcast, man. Just seeing fighters that I used to watch, and now getting to talk to them and stuff like that, and getting to know them personally is
Yeah.
it's an awesome feeling. So again, I always been a fan, so I'll be rooting for you March 19th, man. I'll be right there watching it, man, and
Yeah, man.
hopefully everything goes well for you, and hopefully you get that victory and unharmed. That's the most important. Now you get a victory, but to come out healthy and good, man.
That's it, man. Come out of there, feeling good. And man, my family takes this journey with me, man. So I'm just grateful that they're in for the long haul, and they're happy, and this is tough on them. It's hard because it's like when I watch anybody else fight, I can't get in there for them. And I know that they feel that. It's tough on everybody, man, but they know that I love it, and they stick with me, man. And it's been a hell of a journey, man. And we appreciate it. Like I said, man, God gave me the opportunity to do these things. I just got to do my part, put in the work. And if I put in the proper work and I do what I'm supposed to do, whatever the outcome is, whatever it's supposed to be, man, and I'm okay with it. He's telling me I'm going to win, so I'm going to win, man. And that's the thing, man. You always go in there and you always be positive and just stick to your goals, man. Do the right things, be a good person. Like you said, man, we just met each other, and I can tell, you're a good guy. Thanks, and, I really like this podcast setting as well, man, because you get to meet people and you see their personality, and, you get to know. It's different when you now when you watch me fight, it's going to be like, oh, okay, that's my boy,
Yep.
I got to watch him,
Exactly.
So it's definitely a lot better, man. And I hope the people that are going to watch this can connect there as well, man. Maybe they have something in their lives that they're going to overcome, and my story can help them in any way. Then there you go.
Yeah, man. It's all about reaching out and just being positive, man. I always try to look at things, the positive views and stuff like that. I mean, that's the only thing you can do, because again, as long as you know that you're not in control of your own destiny, I mean, you can live life, man, like a king. And that's the thing. You can only control.
That's it, man.
The only thing you can control is what you do, not what anyone else does.
That's it.
Ride
That's
the
right.
ride the
That's
rave.
right. We were at church, and they said people aren't the problem; it's your feelings towards them. That's the problem. So, if they can reflect on that, man, that's true. And that one hit me hard, because it's true. People, they have no control over what's going on in my life. If I let them affect me in any way, in a negative way, then it's my fault for letting them affect me.
Absolutely.
So all I can control is what Leonard does, and I'm going to do my best to do what's right for us.
Exactly, man. Again, it's been an honor to have you on, and a privilege as well. And like I said, I'll be rooting for you March 19th, man. And I always tell people sometimes when I haven't met them that they gained a fan, but I've been a fan. So maybe a friend.
Awesome, man. Well, I accept the friendship, and you got a friend in me, buddy. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate your time, and your room is awesome, man. If you had a Patriots banner back there, I'd be happy.
No, man. No. Oh, man. See, now we just killed the friendship. No,
come on.
No. Yeah. It's actually my garage. I have a bunch of. I have Jamie Varner. He sent me. He was on the show. Chris Lieben, Chris Light.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a couple things like that. But
text me your address, man. And TKO, man, they got a great shirt out there for me. 4 of them actually, their signature shirts.
Yes, sir.
I wore my Stitch 'em Up shirt today. Joe Schilling, man, that's my boy, and you know, I always support all the t-shirts, and TKO, man, they've done a great thing, and I'm really excited about their product line. And if you guys want to support me in any way, man, go buy my shirt. I get a little bit of that whenever you guys buy a shirt, so you guys are helping me and the family. So, man, reach out to them and grab yourselves a shirt.
Definitely. I'll put the link on the bottom of the video and stuff, so they'll click on it and they can go directly to your stuff, man. Again, I appreciate you and everything, man. All right? God bless, brother.
Thank you, buddy.